September 11, 2012, 4 Americans were killed when Islamic militants attacked the U.S. Special Mission in Benghazi, Libya. The list of casualties were as follows. U.S. Ambassador J. Christopher Stevens, U.S. Foreign Service Information Management Officer Sean Smith, CIA contractor Tyrone Woods, CIA contractor Ben Doherty. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton had previously signed waivers that allowed the facility to be legally occupied, even though it did not meet the minimum official security standards set by the State Department. The waiver also enabled the CIA annex to be stationed about 1 mile from the compound. 2 deputies were revealed to be directly responsible for the security decision. One in particular, Patrick Kennedy, reportedly declined offers from the Department of Defense, also colloquially referred to as the DoD, to sustain or provide additional DoD security personnel in Libya by extending the deployment of the DoD Site Security Team in Tripoli, transitioning to a Marine Security Detachment or deploying the U.S. Marine Corps Fleet Anti-Terrorism Security Team. In addition, Kennedy also canceled the use of a DC-3 aircraft in Tripoli, denied guard towers to the Benghazi mission, approved the withdrawal of a security support team, which was designed specifically for guarding against attacks on U.S. embassies and/or threats against diplomatic personnel, approved a 1-year extension of the Benghazi mission despite major security lapses at the building. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton had plans of converting the temporary U.S. outpost in Libya into a full-fledged permanent one, with intentions of visiting Tripoli later in the year. She was supposedly one of the primary driving forces behind the proposition that the U.S. government should arm and train Siberian rebels with the assistance of the neighboring countries. Here are some possible theories on the motivations of these attacks. 1. A YouTube video that portrayed the Prophet Muhammad negatively. 2. The news of a successful assault on the American embassy in Cairo, Egypt. Or 3. The Pakistani leader of Al-Qaeda called for the revenge for the death of a senior leader of the Libyan origin. Ahmed Abu Khattala. I'm going to butcher that name, and a lot of these names coming up because I'm not going to learn them because they're dirtbags and monsters, every one of them. So if I butcher your name, that's the least I can do. The Islamic ringleader responsible for coordinating the attack claims the motivations were from several members of the Ansar al-Sharia Islamic extremist militia, not the anti-Muslim video. Ahmed accuses the leader of the United States playing with the emotions of the American people and using the consulate attacks to just gather votes for their elections. In 1998, First Lady Hillary Clinton consulted Elizabeth Warren, a professor of law at Harvard University, for a crash course on the nuances of bankruptcy. Elizabeth Warren had previously written an opinion editorial piece for the New York Times, criticizing an overhaul of the bankruptcy system for it would devastate single mothers that were owed alimony for child support. The bill was being pushed as an aggressive measure by high-powered banking credit card companies to prevent debtors from filing bankruptcy as a financial planning tool, regardless of their ability to pay. First Lady Hillary Clinton supported an overhaul of the bankruptcy system, saying that debtors who can afford to pay should do so. At the same time, she believes that the credit industry should be held equally accountable for making credit too easily available to people who cannot pay their bills. In December 19th of 2000, the first bankruptcy reform bill is vetoed by President Bill Clinton. And in March 2016 of 2001, Senator Hillary Clinton voted in favor of bankruptcy reform bills, claiming she had secured an amendment sought by women's groups. In reality, as placed by Elizabeth Warren, while this amendment may have provided some political cover, it offers virtually no financial help to single mothers, since the overwhelming majority of ex-husbands don't pay anything in distributions during bankruptcy. Continuing, she added that of far more importance was the fact that the bill would permit credit card companies to compete with women over bankruptcy for their ex-husbands' limited income and this provision remained unchanged in 1998 and 2001 versions of the bill. Senator Clinton claimed that the bill improved circumstances for single mothers, but her views were not shared by any women's organizations or consumer groups. In 2005, Senator Hillary Clinton is not present to vote on the new Bankruptcy, Abuse Prevention, and Consumer Protection Act of 2005. She does, however, issue a public statement decrying the legislation for its lack of provisions to protect single mothers, recipients who she claimed depend on alimony and child support for help. The Trans-Pacific Partnership. In 1994, January 1st, the North American Free Trade Agreement takes effect. It eliminates the tariffs and it limits the regulation of services such as trucking and banking, extending medicine patent monopolies, reducing food and product safety standards and border inspections, and waive any domestic restrictions on the sale of goods such as Buy American policies or Made in America policies. The Trans-Pacific Partnership, the TPP, was a free trade agreement that was based on the template of its predecessor, the North American Free Trade Agreement, one that's colloquially referred to as NAFTA, which was signed into law by Bill Clinton on December 8th of 1993. Unlike NAFTA, the TPP would supposedly allow America deeper reaches into other countries through raising standards on environmental protection and human rights. In 1996, March 6th, the First Lady Hillary Clinton states, "I think everybody is in favor of free and fair trade. I think NAFTA is proving its worth to unionize garment workers." March 26, 2000, Hillary Clinton backs away from her previous support for NAFTA. In her own words, "What happened to NAFTA, I think, was we inherited an agreement that we didn't get everything we should have gotten out of it, in my opinion. I think the NAFTA agreement was flawed. The problem is that we have to go back and figure out how we are going to fix that." July 31st, 2003, Senator Clinton votes in favor of Singapore and Chilean Free Trade Agreement. July 15th, 2004, Senator Clinton votes in favor of Australian Free Trade Agreement, saying that "I look at each agreement in its totality and measure the impact of each agreement on the New Yorkers that I am privileged to represent." In July 21st, 2004, Senator Clinton votes in favor of Morocco Free Trade Agreement. In July 1st of 2005, Senator Clinton votes against the Central American Free Trade Agreement, CAFTA, CAFTA. 2006, June 29th, Senator Clinton votes in favor of Oman Free Trade Agreement. January 12, 2010 to January 31st, 2013, Secretary of State Clinton meets with foreign dignitaries from 9 other countries mentioned in the TPP, hammering out negotiations and finalizing the terms of the agreement. November 15, 2012, Secretary of State Clinton declares, "This TPP sets the gold standard in trade agreements to open, free, transparent, fair trade, the kind of environment that has the rule of law and a level playing field. And when negotiated, this agreement will cover 40% of the world's total trade and build in strong protections for workers and the environment." In 2014, Hillary Clinton is fully in support of the Trans-Pacific Partnership, claiming it would link markets throughout Asia and the Americas, lowering trade barriers while raising standards on labor, the environment, and intellectual property. Accordingly, she also declared it was important for American workers who would benefit from competing on a more level playing field, and it was a strategic initiative that would strengthen the positions of the United States in Asia. During the 1990s, Hillary Clinton put in every effort to harass, stalk, intimidate any woman who revealed her husband's sexual escapades. Every case was referred to as a Bimbo eruption, a term coined by a close Hillary aide, Betsy Wright. A former high-level Clinton White House operative, George Stephanopoulos, states the Clinton administration was threatening to go scorched earth on Clinton's accusers and investigators by employing the Ellen Romsht strategy, should they not back down. The Ellen Romsht strategy involves blackmailing the Clinton accusers, investigators, and political opponents into silence by threatening to expose their backgrounds. Bill Clinton's most prominent targets to date, from before and after being president. 1984, Connie Hamst. Hillary told Stephanopoulos that we would have to destroy her story. 1978, Juanita Broderick, a nursing home administrator. 1992, Jennifer Flowers, a Cabernet singer smeared by Hillary as trailer trash and some failed Cabernet singer who doesn't have much of a resume to fall back on. In 1993, Kathleen Wiley, an ex-White House volunteer aide. In 1994, Paula Jones, a former Arkansas state employee. In 1995 to 1996, Monica Lewinsky, an ex-White House intern smeared by Hillary as a narcissistic Looney Tune. Hillary Clinton employed numerous tactics to silence her husband's accusers, such as obtaining signed statements from the women denying that they had an affair with Bill, collecting personal papers, correspondence, and any official records on them, fending off damaging press inquiries, hiring private investigators to snuff out the Bimbo interruptions. On one particular case involving a hired private investigator, Jack Palladino, contact and interview every connection to Jennifer Flowers and any other women. This information was fed to Wright, then Chief of Staff, who passed them on to reporters. According to one of her own ex-confidants, she never doubted that if the women and the enemies who used them succeeded or became too visible or credible, the whole edifice would come down, including their marriage. From 1997 to early 1990, the relationship between Hillary and Bill seemed fragile, endangered by the later sexual behaviors. The true extent of the infidelity was known only to him, but he does not acknowledge that it was serious enough to cause problems in his marriage. Even so, he relied on Hillary to take the lead during times of real crisis, especially when Hillary's career, and their shared dream, seemed endangered for various reasons. She would then focus her cold anger on his adversaries, giving him a chance to recover and survive. After the Monica Lewinsky investigation and Bill Clinton's eventual impeachment, Miss Clinton continued her reign of terror over more women accusers and extended it to any high-level ranking Republican congressman who supported the impeachment. Bill Clinton was eventually decided not guilty by the GOP senators who didn't want to be subjected to the Ellen Rumsky strategy. In contrast, her presidential campaign has her stating, "Every survivor of sexual assault deserves to be heard, believed, and supported," which does not jive with her history. Like, comment, subscribe, enjoy it. I enjoyed saying it. So, I'll see you next time.